What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and welcome to my Ash vs. Evil Dead Episode 9 recap. Remember to subscribe to my channel and also click that like button. And please continue to support me on Patreon and PayPal.com. The links is in the description box below. Now, when we first check in, we see the last of the nights, Gladys Knight, and she's sitting in the chair with her blood getting sucked out like she was in Saw Part 10. And then we see Ruby and we see Evil Kelly, and they're putting together a plan to put together a new page to prevent the Dark Ones and from coming back and getting them. And Evil Kelly don't think it's gonna work, but Ruby said it's our only chance to throw them off our trail. And so the way to create a new page is out of human flesh, so they carve a piece out of her back. And we already knew baby got back, but we ain't know she had back to spare. And so what Ruby ends up doing is cutting off a little square piece of that butaken in the back, and next thing you know, she's screaming in pain, and they could pretty much do a scalping, except it was on her back, and peel off a piece of her skin. It was real gross. And next thing you know, she put it on the table and she started writing a little spell in blood. And so we got Gladys Knight, and she tried to escape, so she knocks the chair over. It falls and breaks. She's trying to flee for her life, even though she got the vein tubes with blood dripping out. Ruby tells Evil Kelly go get her. And so she's running. She makes it to the door. She grabs the door, but the handle comes out. And next thing you know, it's showing some type of, evil stuff coming out of it. And she tweaks out. She slips in her own blood that was dripping. And now she in pain. She fell out. And then here come Kelly. And right before Kelly gets to her, she says the prophesied one will save humanity. And she said, yeah, but not save you. And then she gave her poke her eyes out with both thumbs. And damn, that was gross. Meanwhile, we see Ash pull up in the Delta, and he got Kelly, and she puking, and they say it's an after effect from coming back through the rift. She like, well, how come you ain't sick? He like, well, hey, I don't get sick. I don't throw up. It's from drinking so much. And so Pablo and Ash, they're trying to see what's going on and understand how they can defeat evil and put the plan together. And telling Kelly she gonna have to stay there to be safe. And Ash say, hey, I'm not losing you. Evils took my dad, took my friend, took my sister. We gonna stop this. And they like, yeah, once and for all, right? He like, hey, this time it's for real. And so then he's telling everybody the plan that he wants to do. And Pablo say, hey, Hefe, I don't think this is a good idea. Ruby's a dark one, and she's powerful. He like, look, I'm tired of this. Enough is enough. It's time to put an end to this. And here, I'm gonna get you protection. So he gives Brandy the shotgun shells, and he says, so Hefe, what's the plan? And then right when he was about to start telling them, he starts tweaking out, getting all googly eyed, and he's saying, hey, Hefe, I can't see. He like, Pablo, sit for a second. And then Brandy starting to tweak out and get all worried. And then the next thing you know, Pablo, he starts to see through a vision of like inside where Ruby and Evil Kelly is. He see Gladys Knight on the floor. He see Evil Kelly. He said, wait a minute, Hefe, it's some spirit inside of in Kelly's body. Maybe that's why we couldn't get Kelly back. And he like, oh, wait a minute, what is it? Where are they? And so he's looking again, and then he say, I see Ruby, and she's got the book, and she's reading it, and then I see inside the house, and he like, is there a moose head on the wall? He like, yeah, it's a deer head or whatever. He like, oh man, I know where that is. They in Previtt's house. And then Pablo's still tweaking out, and then he come back too, and he like, Pablo, we gotta have a plan. You go into the hardware store and close that rift. Make sure nothing comes in. And I'm going to go in Previtt's house. Previtt house, and then he double check where it is. He like, yeah, I'm going to go over there. And Brandy, you stay here. She like, no, I'm going with you. He like, no, here's the boomstick. It kicks like a mule, so be careful. And it's got a hair trigger. You're too weak to fight. You stay here. And she like, Dad, wait. And then she runs and give him a hug, and she all, sentimental. And then she give him something to remember her by. She slimes him with a little pukey, and he like, oh man. She like, it's okay. Meanwhile, we see Pablo, he making it to the hardware store, and right before he get in, he sees it's like some type of storm going on, and he like, oh, that's not good. So then he gets into the hardware store. Right when he gets into the basement, he sees that the roof is open. So he like, oh man, the roof is open. How'd that get open? So he's trying to go to the wall to close the rift. And right while he's in the middle of trying to close the rift, he sees behind him the dark ones are coming through. And so now he knows it's a problem because he can't stop it. And they already here. Meanwhile, Ash driving down the street to go to Previn's house, sipping on the brewski, getting in the zone, ready to kick some ass. Meanwhile, we see Pablo. He's trying to read one of the missing pages to close the rift, and then the light just gets even brighter, and next thing you know, the dark ones walk through, and now he knows he's in trouble, and so now he don't know what to do. He's tweaking out, getting worried. Meanwhile, we cut back to Ruby, and we see Evil Kelly, and they get the feeling the dark ones that have arrived. Meanwhile, Pablo, they come up to Pablo, and they put some their hand or something on his chest, and they kind of like overpower him, take the missing pages, and then just toss him to the side like a wet food stamp. He flies into the corner. He's all sagging, tweaking out, and then he sees that the dark ones is walking off when they got the missing pages. So he runs out the hardware store in a way to try to prevent them, but then he sees all this chaos, and there was stuff going on in the bar, people running out. It's starting to come down, pouring, raining, and then they cut over to Brandy. And Brandy, she hears some noise. She got the boomstick locked and loaded, ready to go. And then she hears some more chaos going on outside. So like a nosy little girl that is, she go and check out the window. She take a little peep, and she sees some kind of weirdo standing outside staring at her. And she heard all kind of commotion and stuff, police going by. And then next thing you know, she got the boomstick pointed at the door. And nothing happens at the door. So then she hears a noise in the back. She got it pointed at the back. And then she hears it back at the door again. So she tweaking, she pointed at the door. She don't know what to do. Then the TV cranks on. Now she waiting, looking at the TV. Then she hears noise upstairs. She don't know what to do. She like, damn. So now she got it pointed upstairs. And then next thing you know, she get the feeling, and then you see that evil's on the way. It's moving fast, coming through the alleyway, coming to the front door, bust through the front door. She panics, start letting loose off boomstick, blasts off a couple shots. Nothing happens, so she runs upstairs in an attempt to try to get away and save her life. Goes up the stairs, around the corner, run through the hallway, turns around, Evil's still on her ass. She tries to close the door in her bedroom, and then next thing you know, she goes through the window, jumps out the window of the house. She lands on the roof and falls to the floor. She in pain. She runs into the garage, closes the garage door behind her, and then she's trying to hold it because Evil's like banging up against the door. Like, you know, it was Shaq and he trying to get a lunch. And while Evil's coming crashing up against the door repeatedly, she crying, she tweaking, and then next thing she knows, she realizes, damn, I dropped the boomstick. I'm defenseless inside of this joint. And so now she's really worried, but then all of a sudden, Evil stops pounding on the door. And so right when it stopped pounding, she get a phone call, and it's her mother. She like, no, this can't be. My mother's gone, can't be. But then she tried to answer it, and now the Evil then turned it to the phone and bit her finger. And now she's biting the hell out of her finger. She's screaming in pain. She trying to get the phone off her finger, and it's just locking like a pit bull on her thumb, and she can't get it off. It's getting even worse and more intense. And then she throws the phone finally, and then the next thing you know, the phone comes off with her thumb still in his mouth. And so she's screaming. She grabs something to wrap the thumb up to stop the bleeding, because right now it's looking real nubby. And so she banging on the door, screaming for help. And then it cuts on over to Evil Kelly. And so she's using that blood that they got to create a circle of protection around them while they try to create this new page. And so she's telling, you know, Ruby, hey, I got the circle of protection complete. She like, okay, good, I got the new page complete. She like, is this gonna work? She like, well, it's our own best chance to give us some time to come off our trail from the dark one. She like, I think we should leave. And she like, well, next thing you know, right before she could say something, Ash got Evil Kelly by the throat with this dagger. And she like, what are you doing? He like, hey, you need to get Evil Kelly out of here so I can take her back to the rift and get Kelly back in there. He like, that won't happen. That won't work. He like, I've already been there. I already got my daughter back. They like, you serious? And then next thing you know, Gladys Knight with no eyes scratched the hell out of his leg like a little Miss Freddy Krueger. And so he's screaming pain. Next thing you know, he crank up open the chainsaw while she's scratching him, and he chops off her arm and, you know, gives a 5-finger discount. And so he chops off her hand and kicks the hell out of her across the room. But in that commotion, Kelly escapes with the dagger. And so now they saying, yeah, it's time for you to go. Meanwhile, we see Brandy, and she's going through hell right now. She got a hand, finger missing, and next thing you know, she sees that her hand is starting to die and turn in commotion. Look at what happened to Ash in Evil Dead Part 2. And so then she doing something similar to him and took a saw and about to chop her arm off to prevent the spreading. And she's screaming in pain, and next thing you know, she tweaks out and realizes that it was all in her mind and that she didn't have to do that. But then she hears the phone, and the phone is making all kind of evil noises, so she grabs a little screwdriver as protection, and then here comes her phone walking around like a little monster with big bug eyes looking at her. And so then she's ready to go toe-to-toe, but the phone jumps on the shelf and then jumps at her and like attacks her and bites the hell out of her neck like a vampire. And she throws it down, but then he jumps back and attacks her. And so now she going head to head with it, but then she gets the phone down, grabs the screwdriver, and stabs the hell out of the phone in his own leg. And so now, you know, that's a teenager's worst dream, the phone attacking him. She sees a damn snowblower. She gets an idea just like Ash. The phone is like, oh no, wait a minute, hold up. Wait, and then she gets it and runs him over with the snowblower with all type of foam blood squirting all over. It was real gross and gruesome. She breaks out of the damn shed, and right when she does, Pablo was just coming there, and she like, Pablo, is it really you? He like, yeah, we gotta hurry up. All kind of hell is breaking loose. We gotta get to Ash. And so they try to run, get to the car for escape. They hop in his gremlin, and then he's talking to her, and next thing you know, one of these little deadites come and bang on the window and scare the bejesus out of her. And so next thing you know, Pablo hits the gas and he's up out of there with the deadites staring in the rear view. Meanwhile, back at the house, Ash, he toe-to-toe with Evil Ruby. She throwing him across the room, kicking his ass. He takes the saw, tries to chop her with the saw. She rips the saw out of his hand. He like, wait a minute, what are you doing? And she crushes the saw. No more saw. And he screams in pain like he just lost his you know, favorite toy. His baby died. And then she plays with it and then bends it in half and then just throws it to the ground crushed. And he's like destroyed inside. She throws him to Kelly, and then Kelly about to play a hand of poker and poke his eyes out. But right when she do that, the dark ones come. Then one come in front of Ruby, and she didn't see the one behind her that comes and jabs her in the back and pulls her spirit out of her, pulls Kaya out of Kelly. And you know, Kelly, the real Kelly body drops down, and Kaya's spirit is yanked out. And so Ash is hiding under the table while all this is happening, and they say bring forward you know, Ruby, the deceiver or whatever, and the betrayer. And now they got Kaya's real body. They took the spirit, throw it into Kaya's real body, and then they did all of that just to burn her, roast her. And so then while all of that commotion's going on, Ash grabs Kelly's body, and then he grabs the book, the Necronomicon, so that the dark ones can't get it. And then they're getting ready to destroy Ruby for betraying them. They took her soul out of her, sucked it out of her like a $2 hole, and left her bag of dry bones and threw her down on the ground after they destroyed her soul. And then they realized the prophesied one has the Necronomicon. Ash is in the Delta. He's rolling down the street, and then he's trying to communicate with Pablo through the book. He's saying, Pablo, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And next thing you know, Pablo tells Brandy take the wheel because he's getting called in by Ash through the book. And right when they talking, Ash crashes into a deadite. He like, whoa, what the hell? And then he's telling them to meet him at the hardware store so they can go and get Kelly back to her body. He like, no, don't go back. It's all this commotion going on and the evil dark ones are there. Ash didn't hear that part, so they go back to the city, to the hardware store. And next thing you know, Ash see him. He almost crashed into them. And so in the attempt to not hit them, he swerves and crashes into the bar. And so now he's in the bar crashed, and we see Pablo and Brandy, and right when they was gonna help the dark ones getting on top of their car walking, he tell her, don't move, Brandy, we gotta go help them, but we gotta wait till after these dark ones move. And so Ash is trying to get Kelly's body together, he's trying to get himself together, and then the dark one come open the door and just yank him out and throw him across the street. Brandy runs out to help her daddy, and she help him sit up, and she's asking, what's going on, you okay? Then Pablo, he's trying to stop the dark ones because they got the book now since they yanked Ash out the car. And so Pablo is looking around the corner. He tries to run and stop him from the book, but they just, you know, swoop him up real quick and toss him over the side of the car like he wasn't nothing. And so he fall over to the side, fall on the poker table that's broke, and now he's looking at the dark ones while they're reading from the book. And then next thing you know, they disappear. And so now Pablo knows that there's all kind of trouble because the dark ones got the book, and there's nothing they can do to stop them. And so he's saying, Jefe, it's a problem. They got the book. And he like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? And right when they was talking, they hear all this noise and commotion. They look to the ground, and now the ground is breaking up, and it's all kind of cracks and stuff. And then next thing you know, you hear this rumbling and this type of evil spit coming up, entity, monster, and they like, oh man, you guys hold up. He like, we're gonna have to try to do something to defeat this. And they like, Jefe, how you gonna be able to do this? And it's kind of leaves with like that hanging in the balance of how they gonna be able to defeat this. It was a hell of an episode. I'm so sorry that it's about to be just one more episode and it's going to be the series finale. No more Ash versus Evil Dead. I hope they find some way to, you know, do a spinoff with Kelly and Pablo or something, unless they die, which I hope they don't. In the end, thanks for watching. Look forward to this last episode coming up. And you all don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.